Oh, amazing!
名物カツ丼大盛りです。
うまいな。うますぎる。神の食べ物かこれは。よ
かった。
Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 2 of Cooking the Internet. Today we will be taking a crack at the Katsudon from Yuri on Ice. Katsudon is a Japanese dish named after two main ingredients, tonkatsu, which is fried pork cutlet, and donburi, which is a rice bowl dish. The dish itself is pretty simple to make and is incredibly delicious. So to start off, you're going to need a good quality pork chop. My local meatery only had this thick boy, so I'm gonna have to cut this one in half. You don't want your cuts to be too thick, as you want them to cook thoroughly without burning the outside, something you'll see that I learned much later on. Next, you're going to make small cuts in the stringy white part of the meat. This is so that it doesn't curl up when it's cooking and it can cook evenly. Now we're going to scramble back and forth looking for your rolling pin, or you can use a meat tenderizer if you have one. Unfortunately, I couldn't find either, so you can use the back of your knife as well to pound it gently. Now we're gonna go ahead and season it with a bit of kosher salt and pepper on one side and pat it in gently so that the seasoning stays on. Then in a bowl, we're going to pour an egg with a teaspoon or two of water to make it a little less eggy. Now you're gonna want to make yourself an assembly line of egg, flour, and breadcrumbs. I recommend using panko or any other Japanese style breadcrumbs, as the breadcrumbs themselves tend to be bigger. Then you're going to lightly dust the meat in the flour, then soak in the egg, and then finally rolling it in the breadcrumbs. Once that's done, we're going to generously fill our frying pan with about at least half an inch of frying oil. Just make sure that when you place your pork chop in, it's at least halfway in the oil. After about 2 minutes, we're going to flip it over to the other side. And after about another minute, we're going to remove it onto a plate to cool with some paper towels to soak up the extra oil. This is where I messed up. As you can see, I believe my pork chop was a little too thick, so that the inside wasn't cooked thoroughly before the outside burned. So I had to throw it back in the oil afterwards to finish cooking. But it didn't give it a burnt taste at all. It just looks burnt. So once our pork chop is nice and cool, we're going to cut it into nice half-inch slices. Next, we're going to make our sauce. I unfortunately couldn't find the ingredients I needed to make my own katsu sauce at my local Asian market. So I picked up this katsu sauce, and it actually came out a lot better than I expected. So to a frying pan, we're going to add about 6 tablespoons of sauce and about 2 tablespoons of water to help keep it from reducing too much. Then we're going to add some nice long cuts of onion, and we're going to caramelize them a bit in the sauce before adding our katsu on top. And finally, we're going to pour a lightly beaten egg on both sides and on top of the katsu, and cover it for about a minute just so the egg cooks. Now, because I'm dumb and forgetful, I realized afterwards that I forgot the peas, like in the show, so we'll have to just pretend they're there. Now all that's left to do at this point is to pour it into a large bowl with some steamed rice. Emphasis on the large, as mine wasn't big enough to have it look pretty and I struggled to pour it in. Although it's supposed to be in a bowl, it just fit nicer on a plate for me, and it wasn't as embarrassing to try getting it on there. So now the best part of all is now to try it, and like I said, it's very delicious. It's hard to go wrong making this dish. I can see why Yuri ate it all the time. Now I haven't eaten all day, so I'm gonna give myself and this dish a little privacy. But don't forget to like and subscribe for more, leave a comment for any thoughts or questions, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.